very politically
correct answer. You can question him later on that if you want to. I'm gonna go to Hwa Beng now. Dato Lee, you have been very outspoken of late ever since you lost your parliamentary contest to Long Bern, and also after you stepped down as PKA chairman. I think you've been very vocal on issues of corruption. But how, if let's say, hypothetically, we have a Pakatan Raya government coming in after the next general election, to what extent do you think they would be successful in tackling areas of corruption? And if you had to give Pakatan government one piece of advice, what would, in terms of tackling corruption, what would be the priority area?
Thank you, Kami. I think corruption is the main issue we discussed today in our political arena. Everybody talk about corruption at every paper online. So Pakatan have been campaigning on issue anti-corruption. So I think if they ever come to power, they have to do something for a while, at least for a while, or to win for the next election. That's why even Nik Nazmi said the two-party system is the way forward. So if they behave, you all will still vote for them the next round. If they don't behave, you'll vote them out. And if assuming BN no more in power, especially in Selangor, they come back, they are trying to say they are attacking Pakatan state government Selangor or being corrupted here, this and that. So this is the way forward. So I think we are, as ever said, we are in the third stage of our democracy, which I think there's a future. As for me, I think corruption is the root of everything. From there, everything suffers. Every system collapses. So, but the problem is, what we are seeing now, we know certain leaders are corrupted. I'm not talking of BN on both sides. Right? So, of course, BN be longer in power, you see more of them there. And Pakatan just some only on 4 states, so you see a little bit, but there is a little bit. You mean that, so, but if they stay longer, maybe the same at the end alone. So, I want to be fair to everybody. So this corruption thing is root of everything. So we will have to be cautious. Then, as I said earlier, we as voters must dare to vote them out, irrespective of which party you belong. Even maybe your best friend or your party or whatever. Then we have a good future. One recommendation that you would give PR. Oh, one recommendation, I forgot. To give PR, I think my BN comrade may not be happy with me, but I think they took a good step by asking the chairman of Public Account Committee of Selangor to be from Barisan Nasional, even though they're in power. I think there's one good step. So, but don't give up. Continue with that direction. I think it will be a better Malaysia soon.
Okay, thanks, Hwa Beng. Okay, my next question is to Nik. I think this concerns the allocation of state resources to political representatives. And I think one of the complaints that Pakatan has had is that at the federal level, they don't get allocation if, let's say, you're from the opposition. And I think that's something that's grossly unfair because you're also being elected by voters to be MPs. But at the same time, the same kind of practice has been followed by the Selangor state government, whereby the BN Aduns don't get any allocation from the state. And I think this is has been pointed out as somewhat inconsistent. So what assurances do we as the Rakyat have that if, let's say, Pakatan does come into power at the federal level, that Pakatan won't repeat the same thing as what is doing, what BN is doing now at the federal and what Pakatan is doing at the state in Selangor to withdraw or withhold funding allocations to the opposition. In this case, it would be the BN.
Well, I think, yeah, it's a bit like a chicken and egg situation because, we say that BN is not giving us the allocation at the federal level, then we withhold the allocation at the state level and all that, and it will never end. But I think the most important thing is that, first, the bigger issue is on political financing. That is the bigger issue, and I think it's related also to corruption and all that. In Malaysia, as of now, I think we all know that I think the Prime Minister actually raised the issue recently, but generally there's no real law on political financing. political parties are free to raise money and spend and all that with little regulation, unlike other countries. Ultimately, I think we need a policy where in other countries where political parties get money based on, say, the amount of support that they get. So there is a transparent system. Say, in Germany, for example, the more votes you get, the more government grants you get. At the same time, in the UK, it's a different system where I think the opposition party, on the other hand, because knowing the fact that the opposition party is handicapped by the fact that it does not have the civil service, it gets what they call short money to make up for the shortfall in terms of researchers and all that. So I think that's a bigger thing. Because currently, in reality, the pay of, I think we all are aware here, the pay of a politician or an adult or an MP in Malaysia is not that great. And as Datuk Saifuddin said, we are seen as pegawai kebajikan. So people come to us for everything, to ask for money. And at the same time, beyond that, if we are talking about MPs or adults being the real lawmakers to do legislative research and all that, you need funds also, and there's very limited money for that. So I think that's the real core of the issue, which I think we are really not touching on by just talking about allocation of money for MPs or others.
So just to follow up, that means if let's say the political financing issue is solved, then do you think that the allocation to the MPs and others should also stop?
Yeah, well, I think yes. I think it should be allocation to individual MPs and others. Well, I think in its current form, it should be stopped if you can resolve the bigger political financing issue.
Okay, my last question is directed to Dato Saifuddin. I think your willingness to engage and debate with different people, especially those who are seen as naturally more pro-opposition, is something that stands out within your party, UMNO, which I think many people still see as being dominated by politicians who are of the old mindset, the first sphere politicians, if you will. One of the suggestions that some people have made is to say that, look, why not vote out the BN? Why not give UMNO politicians a taste of what it's like to be outside power, and then use this as an opportunity to get rid of all those people in the sphere 1 and perhaps replace them with more people in the sphere 2 area. So to achieve the kind of society that you want in the future, wouldn't it be better in the longer term for PN to experience defeat at least once? It may not be the next general election, maybe the one after that. Do you think that is a good way to go for the country?
So $1 million question. I think we just need to vote out all politicians who are still living in the first sphere, regardless whether they are in the BN or in the Pakatan Raya. We have to accept the fact that we have all kinds of politicians in both sides of the house. But going beyond that, if I can continue from where Nik Nazmi ended his last intervention, I think we even in the second phase of democracy, i.e. trying to improve things within the system, within what we already have. I agree with Nik that I think we should go without the allocations for MPs and ADUN, because I don't think MPs and ADUN has any business looking at 1 million or 2.5 million. I think that is the work of the Pejabat Daerah and the local council. We make rules. We are lawmakers. Yeah, that's number one. Number two, I think we should also look at the parliament and the ADUN, the parliament and the Dewan Undangan Negeri, to actually make it in a way where where parliament govern itself and the state assembly govern itself. And we should also inspect this tradition. I mean, in a way, Barisan Nasional is quite lucky because Pakatan Rakyat did actually change some of the ground rules. Yeah, otherwise we will be even in difficult, in a lot of difficulties. For instance, we still have the weak system, both sides. Politicians are talking about less race politics, but in actual fact, in a way, they are still playing this race politics. So if only, frankly speaking, if only Pakatan Rakyat came out with some real solid, I don't know if they are doing this in the 2008, in the coming GE13, but then we really have to, our side will really have to work hard to rebut, which I think is good for democracy in that sense of the word. I think we really have, as I said earlier on, we need to go beyond what we have now and try to inspect even the small thing that is still occurring in our politics and try to improve.